What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. Let's give a quick shout out to Jordan Brooks, who won AFC Defensive Player of the Week again. It's the second time this year he's done it. I don't know if anyone else has done it more than once. I didn't even check that before I did this report. But the last time he did it was against Atlanta, where he had 10 sacks, a sack, forced fumble. Like, he was all over the field for that game. And the game on Sunday, he had 20 tackles. Now, 10 were solo, but 20 were like group effort. He's credited with 20 tackles, which is crazy. 20 tackles in a game seems like a fake number, actually. But no, second time player of the week is kind of crazy. He also leads the league currently in tackles. He has 125 tackles. Second place, Bobby Wagner, who, again, I'm pretty sure 204 years old. So the two old guys, right? Well, Jordan Brooks is not old, but Bobby Wagner's still getting it done. But the fact that Jordan Brooks leads the league in tackles right now, I made a claim that he should be in Pro Bowl consideration. I don't know if his name is big enough outside of the 305, maybe 954, to get that kind of consideration. Again, two AFC Defensive Player of the Weeks in 11 weeks? I mean, you can choose theoretically anyone on defense. I think Myles Garrett may have gotten it. Myles Garrett had 4 sacks on Sunday, and he still didn't win it, which is like, maybe he should have. I don't know. I don't know. But I think this is awesome. I want for him to be more of a household name. And Jordan's like, he keeps kind of a low profile. He's not like a particularly bombastic person. And I think that actually hurts him for things like Pro Bowl voting or All Pro voting, because either your team has to be really good or you have to be really high profile. And we're not that good, and he's not a high profile guy. So he's kind of he's in a tough pickle where his game suggests he should be Pro Bowl talked about amongst one of the better linebackers. But 4-7 doesn't do that, and you not talking to the media doesn't do that either. So still, though, two-time player of the week is awesome on defense. We love to see it. Hopefully he gets a third one before the year's out. I would love when the Pro Bowl voting starts up that we really get a campaign going to be like, yo, I mean, why not Jordan? Why not? He's playing well enough. You guys have recognized him 2 different times. Put him in the Pro Bowl. We'll see. So we've had a number of issues in the secondary. We mentioned Juju Brents just got surgery on his injury. Never mind Artie and Cater, and it's just been for secondary people. But we have consistently went and got guys off practice squad. So we went and got AJ Green from the Rams practice squad. This AJ Green has no relation to the Cincinnati great AJ Green. I know, a lot of common names. But he is basically built exactly like Juju Brents. He's 6'2", right at 200 pounds, like athletic, but he hasn't lived up to his billing. Like, it's actually kind of eerie that we lost one guy said, can we find your doppelganger somewhere else? And they went and did it. He's played for the Browns. He's played for the Rams. Recently, he's been like the activated and then deactivated guy. So when someone's on a practice squad, you can elevate them, I believe it's 3 times. But after the third time, if you don't keep them, you cannot elevate them again. So he's only been elevated a couple times this year, but he hadn't got to the third elevation yet. So the Rams, if they wanted to keep him, could have, but they would have to bring him to the active roster to do so. And they weren't willing to do that. I don't know what his upside is. He was a decent special teams performer for them. As an actual cornerback, he only had like 1 semi-impactful season in 2021. I don't expect him to be like a savior. He seems very much like a project. If we get in the pinch, we need a big corner on the field, you can do it. He's still young. So, maybe he's not done developing, and maybe he hasn't had proper coaching. I saw flashes from Juju that I hadn't seen from anyone else before he got hurt. So maybe this is in a similar situation where this kid just needs someone to, like, mold him. Give me some time. Like, don't throw him in the fire now and say, guard wide receiver 1. That's crazy. But bring him along. Like, he'll be coming along with, Jason and some of the other younger corners we have. He's not really expected to be amazing day one. But maybe he could develop into something. At the very least, he can be on special teams. But if he can become a rotational type corner, then I think they did a great job. I mean, he was on the practice squad, so he wasn't like actively playing. And 6'2", 200, that's really good corner size. Like, you can't teach like that kind of size. If we can maximize it, cool. But I just like if someone's being signed in week 11 in the NFL and they play cornerback where every team in the league needs a cornerback, I'm just gonna Just temper it. Just temper it a little bit. But we made a signing, and we'll see what he does. Y'all know I got to throw an obligatory Tyreek thing in here every now and again. I love that Tyreek is just always himself. So Tyreek obviously is injured. He's still on the roster, not unemployed, still very much on the team. But Tyreek has to do something to fill his time, and he's done like interviews. He's been in social media, and you get that. But recently, he has donned his new alter ego DJ Cheetah because he is doing DJ work in the offseason. And he said he's coming to a party near you. I don't know if anyone's actually going to hire Tyreek. I mean, they probably will just to have Tyreek in the building. But also had not heard any video of him actually DJing, so I don't know if he's actually good at the craft. He could just be hitting play and just letting the beat rock and just. And if you know anything about DJing, that's not the job. This is random personal story, which I don't really do on the show. I had the pleasure this year doing an event for cancer surviving children out here in California, and I got to be in the DJ booth with Lil Jon himself. It was kind of wild because I was in the DJ booth already, and then John walked over. I was like, "Is that Lil Jon?" And he got on the mic and said, "Can I get a yeah?" And I was like, "Wow, this is really cool." I mean, like as close as I am to my set, we're shoulder to shoulder. He had a dope jacket on. I had to give him credit. Like, yo, I like that jacket, John. I have the video if people want to see it. But anyway, that's real DJ work is also, yes, you're playing the music, but it's a transition. I got to see how they set everything up. I'm not a DJ. I just know that there's more technique to it than just playing music. If Tyreek applies his, like, I guess, eliteness as an athlete to this as well, I imagine he could be pretty good at it. At the very least, he's going to get hired because he's Tyreek playing music. We've seen Idris Elba be a DJ. We know Shaq's been a DJ before. Like Ludacris is going around being DJ. Like, this is a thing. I know it seems like kind of random because he's a football player. Like, why would he be doing this? A lot of people think they could be DJs. Like, if you have a good ear and you have a good catalog, if you know the basics, I mean, theoretically, yes, you can just be a DJ. But will he be a good DJ? Who knows? This is what he said, though, about, I think this is an indication as to why he may be trying things like this. He was talking about where he currently is in his career and kind of where his head's at. He said, and I'm at the point now where I need to have a conversation with my mom, family, everybody. Like I said, wherever my mind is at the time, the decision to be made. But I just know right now I feel like I haven't had time to just live in a moment and just be in the moment with my family. That actually makes sense to me. I think Tyreek, I mean, he's a football player, right? So from Oklahoma State all the way to now, I think he very much has been locked into the game of football. How do I be great? How do I stay fast? How do I stay, physically conditioned? How do I up my game? Then he started winning playoff games and he won a championship. Can I get back there? How to get my money? I think he's very much been like that. Now, in between that, there's a number of reckless decisions, but in a micro thing, that's what he's been doing. The idea of just like being injured this long, you have a lot of time to just kind of chill out. I've spent a lot of time injured when I played, and you do a lot of soul searching. Like, do I really want to do this? Do I want to do the rehab? Is it worth it? Can I do something else? Like, the team doesn't miss me for real. You get a lot of thoughts in your head when you're injured and recovering, especially when you're Tyreek in your 30s, you're a wide receiver. Your whole claim to fame is your speed. And you wonder, am I going to be the Cheetah when I get back? I mean, his handle is Cheetah, but Cheetahs can't get slow. That's not how they work. So am I going to be Cheetah when I get back, or am I going to be Tyreek Hill, the artist formerly known as Cheetah? So you start asking the questions about mortality, more or less, and at least in the sports sense. Am I going to come back as a lesser version of myself, or do I want to leave more or less on top? Now, he still has a year left on his contract. It's not guaranteed, but we're likely going to pick it up. And we can still pick it up and trade him and stuff. But we're likely going to pick up the deal, so he's not out of his contract. If we decide to bring him back and he signs a contract, he will be back. But I like the fact that he's at least thinking about his future. And I think Tyreek's going to work on TV. I mean, he seems like a very obvious, like, TV, social media kind of guy. I don't know if I want him doing, like, play-by-play. I feel like that's reckless. But as a pregame commentator, like, he can't do what Richard Sherman does for Prime. Like, yeah, he can do that. I think his personality is big enough. I think he has enough insight, and he's played against a lot of guys who are currently in the league. I think that's a natural stepping stone for him. But if he says, forget being an analyst, I'm on them turntables, hey, who am I to judge him, man? I wish him the best. This is, again, usually I get on this and start like going at Tyreek, but on this level, I'm okay with where he's at. I can see the mortality in his game. And maybe if I'm having a party at some point, I can make enough money to afford DJ Cheetah. Y'all know I'm a big Waddle fan, and Waddle is closing in on 5,000 yards with the Dolphins. We've only had, I think, 6 receivers ever do that. Mark Duper being the top of that list, and we have to kind of do like a retroactive about what Jalen Waddle is and where he's been. I'm a Jalen Waddle fan, but he's been. I still don't think he's reached where he should be. I think the level he can play at, he's probably at, I don't know, 80% of where he can be. And I've been waiting for him to really get to that next tier. That tier, like right now to me, he's in that tier two, but he's like to the middle-ish of the tier twos, right? He's not, obviously not at JSN or Jefferson and Chase and like those guys. Like those, that's a different level. But even as the tier two guys kind of go, like Devontae Smith is in a weird offense where they can't throw the ball for some reason or run the ball. But I still feel like he produces at a pretty good clip and he makes a number of big plays. And this may be more of an indictment on the offensive line at Tua than it is on Jalen Waddle himself. But injuries have also been part of it. He hasn't had a 150-yard game in 3 years. And given how few games he's actually missed in 3 years, you would think just because of how fast he is, he can break one really long catch. And then over the span of 6 or 7 more catches, 12, 15 yards a catch, that should get you 150. It's not some unreasonable number like what Michael Wilson just got done doing this week. Jalen Waddle hasn't done in 3 years, and Michael Wilson is not Jalen Waddle. No shade to Michael Wilson. He's just not as good. But I think there seems to be like, I don't know if it's a him governor or if the team does it, where he'll have a big play or a big catch, and I feel like we don't keep going to him. Like not Tyreek. Jamar Chase had a game this year where Joe Burrow, not Joe, it wasn't Joe, wow, I'm messing up. Flacco, the other Joe. I'm sure Burrow did too early in the year. But Flacco just kept throwing him the ball. He just decided, I'm throwing you the ball. I want to say it was 23 times, but that may be the wrong number, but it was a really high number. He's like, I'm going to feed you the ball, period. That's it. I've seen Amon-Ra get the ball, just fed to him. Obviously, Jefferson is the same thing. I've seen it. Puka Nakua's gotten the ball fed him on reasonable amounts by Matt Stafford. And I don't feel like we do that with Waddle. Like, he's our number one receiver, but we don't go to him like a number one receiver. I don't see us force feed the ball outside of Tua's arm punt throws 40 yards on the field, which are almost always in double coverage. But in terms of, we're giving Waddle 15 targets a day. When do we ever do that? If he's truly number one, because we did that with Tyreek. When Tyreek was number one, he was going for 2K. Tyreek was getting teen to high teen targets. This is 13, 18, 19 targets. He was getting the targets, which is partially why he had so many yards. We are saying Waddle's our number one receiver. But when we throw the ball, we don't target him like that. There's a lot of games, 5, 6, 7 targets. That should be your number two receiver. And I don't know if that's just Tua not going to him. I don't know if he's being doubled. I don't know if he's just too far down the field and Tua's like, I can't make the throw. I don't know what it is, but I feel like he's at 80% not because he's not good enough. I don't think he's holding himself back. I just don't think that we are really maxing. JSN gets the ball thrown to him. I feel like almost every pass, the ball is going to. I'm like, how is he still getting the ball? Is he not doubled right now? But it keeps going. Puka's always getting the ball. These top flight number one receivers get fed, man. It's part of the game. They don't get 1,500 yards, 12, 15, 14 touchdowns without getting fed. I was watching the Cowboys game, and CeeDee Lamb was just not trying to give anybody slips. I have George Pickens, so it's fine. But Pickens got 11 targets, and he's arguably the number two receiver. Now, in that game, he out-targeted CeeDee, but CeeDee's their typical number one receiver. But between the two of them, they got like 19 targets. I was like, yeah, that seems about right to me. Even maybe a little bit low on some end, but like at least that. I don't know what it is, but if Waddle got the kind of passing that he should be getting per game, then I think his numbers will balloon. He's averaging about 78, 79 yards a game since Tyreek has been out. That's cool. But to me, he should be 90 plus. Really should be close to 100. Now, this last game, he didn't have a great game, so that kind of lowered his average a little bit. But he had 2 catches. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at a lot of times. Like, I see him on the field. He still looks fast. I feel like he's getting open. Maybe he's not the first or second read, and maybe he's just clearing stuff out for the people. I don't know all the logistics of the offense, but I do feel like we're not getting the best of Jalen, and because he's our number one receiver, and we're paying him for the next couple of years, I would like to see him be featured the way we claim that he should be featured. He's our number one. He's the guy we're going forward with. He's got a chemistry with Tua all the way back in college. I would like to see that chemistry show up on the field more often than I see it. Every now and again, I see a throw 12 yards across the middle, good hands, and Waddle taking off. Other than that, it's a lot of it's not good enough for what those two should be to each other. That's what I'm saying. And I would like to see more of it, and I don't know who to put it on. I'm not even blaming a particular person. It could be the whole system. It's just not designed to get Waddle the rock. But I've seen us feed a receiver the rock in our offense. So I don't believe it doesn't work. I just believe we're not doing it with him. I don't know why, but I'd like to see more of it. When he crosses 5,000, I'm sure they'll stop the game or put a little bottom third. No, stop the game. They'll put a bottom third thing on saying Waddle's the seventh receiver for 5,000 yards, and we can all do it in applause. But I think given how good he is and how fast he is, he should have already been there. But when he does get there, we'll shout him out, give him some love. I just want to see him really shine. I don't want him to finish the year at 1,150 yards, 7-8 touchdowns. I just think he's better than that. That's a really good year, by the way. I just think he's better than that, and we haven't given him a chance to really do that. Hopefully we do for the last half of the season. We can see what happens. But as always, y'all, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and the subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.